OK, thank you very much for being on the programme.
We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much. And that is it.
It's utterly shocking that neither Sky or BBC raised this with the business secretary.
The thing that we didn't know in particular, Mr. Speaker, was that COVID could be transmitted asymptomatically.
Quite apart from the fact Sage said asymptomatic transmission cannot be ruled out in early February 2020, this is the government's own chief scientific advisor, Patrick Vallance, speaking to BBC Radio 4 on March 13th.
It looks quite likely that there is some degree of asymptomatic transmission.
Johnson acknowledged in a press conference on 18th of March the problems the virus posed.
The thing about this disease, it's an invisible enemy, and we don't know who's transmitting it.
So the Prime Minister clearly knew at that time that people without obvious symptoms might be amongst those transmitting the virus. Johnson directly commented on papers examining the issue at a COVID press conference on March 25th.
Just Patrick, on the numbers of people who have the disease asymptomatically, there was a study I saw quoted from some Oxford academics saying that as many as 50% may have had it asymptomatically.
And this is Patrick Vallance speaking the same day.
That's a small percentage of the population who were tested positive. Quite a number of them were asymptomatic in a town in Italy. Quite a number of them were asymptomatic.
It was weeks later that the Health Secretary introduced a policy to test care home patients before discharging them from hospital.
Today we've strengthened the rules so that all care home residents who are discharged from hospital will be tested before being admitted into their care home.
By that time, a staggering 25,000 people had already been discharged from hospital into care homes without being tested for coronavirus. It almost certainly contributed to the catastrophe which occurred in our care homes.
More than 20,000 elderly or disabled care home residents died from COVID between March and June 2020 in England.
It looks quite likely that there is some degree of asymptomatic transmission.
We ministers were not told about the asymptomatic transmission.